Yep, that's my boat. You guys are probably wondering how I got myself into this predicament. Well, let's go ahead and kind of get right into it. So here's my boat, how I left it the night before. If you guys watched my day 3 video, you know that it was really windy that day. That was just a precursor to some really bad storms that we had roll through that night. And what you can kind of see here in this video, I got my gas tank in the back right of the boat, and I've got 3 batteries on the left. With my thought process being that I'm a bigger guy. When I sit on the right hand side, having my batteries and all my tackle on the left hand side is going to equalize the boat. And that theory works out perfectly when I'm in the boat. But when I'm docking the boat, it's got that gangster lean to it. The other thing that really kind of did it in for this night that the other nights didn't have, that gas tank is a 9-gallon gas tank, and that was full or close to full those first 2 days. That third day of fishing, I ran all around that lake, and I think I was down to probably about a fifth of a tank in there, so it didn't really have a whole lot of weight left on that side. So that back left corner of the boat, I think, just accumulated with a lot of water. And one of the designs, I don't know whether this is the stock design on these Bass Tracker 3s. It's a really poor design, if you ask me. But the bilge outlet is on that back left corner, and it's really close to the water line. On a good day, it's like 4 or 5 inches above the water line. So I think what happened is it rained so much, and it all collected in the back left corner because of that weight disparity. That bilge outlet went underwater and started flooding the boat. And then I think the float switch failed. The float switch just didn't do its job. Also, the wind I know kicked up that night, and I think it shifted. So I think the wind was making the waves crash into that boat. So I think it was just like a perfect storm, no pun intended, to sink that boat. And I think once that vent went underwater, there is no way of saving that boat. It just did itself in. I got to give, I think, a shout out to Power Pole. I'm pretty sure that power pole. Whenever I dock my boat, I drop that power pole to just kind of hold it in place. That being anchored, I really think helped save that boat from sinking all the way down. Where that dock is, it's like 2 to 3 feet, and that boat only sunk maybe 6 to 8 inches under the water in the worst spot. So I think the power pole did its job. There's also a lot of flotation foam in the boat too in that back that I think helped keep it afloat. But uh, thankfully, between my dad's really smart thinking, we were able to relatively easy recover the boat. What we did, you can kind of see here in that back corner, we tied a rope to my dad's boat, who's following me in this clip, and we just tied it as tightly as we could to the edge of my boat, to his boat, and then we stood on the other side of the other boat, and that kind of created like a lever action, and that lifted the my boat, the gunnel, out of the water, and then we just manually turned on the bilge pump and sat there for an hour while it pumped itself out. I eventually got in there and started manually bailing as well, but we were able to get it out there. So thankfully, the boat is back up. It's running. No major engine issues. The Ultrex, really the major components of the boat, had no issues. I did have the engine checked out and talked to Minn Kota about the foot pedal being underwater. They said it shouldn't be an issue. It's waterproof. So the major things that happened, the batteries are all underwater. There's a lot of corrosion in the electrical. I had to have a marina pump out the gas water mix that was in the gas tank. That charger that you can see in the video right here, that was fully submerged, so I'm going to be replacing that. There's a decent amount of other stuff in the boat that got ruined. all of my soft plastics. I store my soft plastics in a soft-sided tackle box inside of Ziploc bags, and then inside the original um, bags that the soft plastics come in. Every single one of those plastics had water in it, and for anyone that knows soft plastics, if you leave them in water for an extended period of time, they kind of get gross and kind of soak up the water and expand. So I got to replace all that. Big shout out to Allstate. They're the people that insure my insure the boat. And if you don't have boat insurance, I definitely recommend looking into it. I worked with Allstate. I sent them the photos that you guys saw here, and uh, just a little over a week later, after I filed the claim with them, they already sent me my settlement check for all the miscellaneous things that I had to replace or I'm going to be replacing on the boat. Um, so really, ultimately, what it's going to come down to with this boat, um, I've had this boat for about 3 or 4 years now. I don't really remember exactly, but this boat is great for, fishing the Fox River, fishing a lot of these like local northern Illinois smaller lakes. But I enjoy going on these trips, into northern Wisconsin, going into Canada, fishing some of these medium to larger lakes. So this winter, I'm gonna have to take a long, hard look into either keeping this boat or I might be selling this boat and upgrading to a larger boat. If I do end up keeping this boat, I'm definitely going to add some flotation pods to the rear so that it sits higher in the water. Um, but there's a strong chance that I might be upgrading to a larger boat, but that's going to be a ways away. Unfortunately, the big repercussions from this. So this was 2 weeks before I was supposed to leave for Canada, and even though the engine, the Ultrex, and a lot of these other things didn't really have any issues, I did end up having to cancel my Canada trip just because there's a lot of these smaller electrical issues that I haven't addressed yet, and I really don't want to make the 14-hour drive up to Canada to realize there's some other larger gremlin that I didn't have time to figure out. So we're gonna have to wait until 2022 to make it back up to Canada, and maybe we'll have a bigger boat when we go up there the next time. But um, lesson learned in this boat, I guess, if I know a large storm is coming through overnight, I'm probably gonna trailer it. So anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Not a super exciting video, I know. But if you have any questions as to what happened or how we recovered that, definitely let me know and happy to talk about it. The morning that this happened, I was panicked. I called a marina thinking that I was going to have like a barge with a crane come out and like lift it out of the water because all that water and weight. But cooler heads prevailed, and it was pretty easy to recover. So, thanks again, everyone, and I will see you all next time.